The story follows Kuro, who's being hunted by monstrous soldiers in 12th century Japan. Kuro is on the run with his servant Benkai, and throughout their travels, they keep getting attacked by samurai with red eyes. Kuro is a strong swordsman himself and is able to cut through these possessed soldiers with ease, but soon he starts to fall ill, so Benkai has to save him. The two try to find a place where they can hide from their hunters. After a while on their travels, they manage to find a remote house in the middle of the forest. They enter in the dead of night, and it's there that they're confronted by a mysterious lady, Kuromitsu. From the first time Kuro sets his eyes on Kuromitsu, he starts to fall in love with her. Kuromitsu is a pale woman with long, dark hair. She speaks in a soft voice and tells the travelers they can stay with her, but only on one condition. They're not allowed to enter one of the rooms in the back of the house. Benkai and Kuro accept her offer, but suddenly, Kuro starts to feel ill. He has a high fever and has to lay down. Kuromitsu prepares a bed for him, and in the morning, she sends Benkai to go to a nearby village and bring back medicine. In the meantime, Kuromitsu and Kuro start connecting more. After Kuro feels a bit better, the two even take a walk through the woods. Eventually, while in the woods, Kuro and Kuromitsu kiss. Meanwhile, on his journey to get the medicine, Benkai is faced with strange red flowers, and he seems to lose his mind. Kuro and Kuromitsu talk even more, and he tells her that his brother is after him and that he's been on the run for a while now. They soon return to the house for Kuro to rest up, but as the night falls, Kuro gets curious. He can't resist exploring the house. After some time wandering, he finally arrives at the Forbidden Room. He slowly opens the door, and there he witnesses Kuromitsu draining blood from a dead person. Kuro is shocked as he has realized that Kuromitsu is a vampire. Kuromitsu is sad that Kuro has found out her secret. Kuro, on the other hand, is so in love with Kuromitsu that this new information doesn't change that. Before Kuro and Kuromitsu can get a chance to talk, suddenly attackers come into the house and cut off Kuromitsu's hand. The assassins who have been hunting Kuro have found him. They fatally stab Kuro, but he continues to fight, taking out a couple of the soldiers in the process. Kuromitsu also uses her vampiric powers to kill an assassin. The soldiers start to burn the house, and Kuro is stabbed directly in his chest by a masked man. Kuro awakens nearby a tree with Kuromitsu by his side. She tells him that he'll soon die. Kuromitsu has also fallen in love with Kuro and offers her own blood so that Kuro will become an immortal vampire as well. He accepts, and Kuromitsu starts to transfer her powers. A healed Kuro and Kuromitsu make their way to town where they're met with a berserk wandering samurai. This samurai has already killed a couple of people, and when he notices Kuro and Kuromitsu, he attacks them immediately. He swiftly cuts off Kuro's head and slashes Kuromitsu. The samurai runs away from town and finds his way to Kuromitsu's house. There, he meets Kuromitsu herself, now fully healed. She feeds the samurai and allows him to spend the night. Later during the night, the samurai wanders the house and finds a room where Kuromitsu is holding Kuro alive. The samurai is shocked, realizing that these two were the same people he killed back in the village. Before he can escape, Kuromitsu kills him. She then attaches Kuro's head to the samurai's body. We then witness Kuromitsu trying to transform Kuro fully into an immortal vampire. During the process, Kuro experiences various strange visions, and it becomes extremely painful. As this is happening, the Red Army that has been hunting Kuro finds them. They attack and overpower Kuromitsu. It's then that Kuro activates his powers and without mercy kills the soldiers, saving Kuromitsu. After the battle, Benkai shows up and Kuromitsu notices something strange with his hand. Before Kuro can notice, Benkai cuts off his head before he becomes fully immortal. Benkai was recruited by the Red Army to lead them. Years and decades pass, and the future arrives. We see people hiding in a destroyed city with barely any supplies and afraid for their lives. A woman tries to care for the wounded. A poor drifter is attacked by something from the shadows. This alerts the people inside and they hide from what's coming. We see giant shadowy figures with red eyes coming toward them, tracking their every move. Soon, the red light notices the people and all of them get shot with a barrage of bullets. One man survives and he sees the new and improved Red Army up close. Then, he dies a painful death. Elsewhere, Kuro awakens in a forest. He doesn't know where he is or how much time has passed. He slowly travels out of the forest, seeing visions of Kuromitsu. He finally reaches a hill and sees a destroyed city. He doesn't understand what's happening. It seems that he has been transported into the distant post-apocalyptic future. Kuro makes his way into the crumbled city to find out what has transpired. We see a blonde woman, Rai, talking to Karuta, feeding him information. It's revealed that Karuta is part of the resistance, the last survivors who were still fighting the Red Army. Kuro enters the city and is confronted by how people act, the buildings, and the customs. He accidentally runs into Karuta, who offers him his help. Kuro doesn't care about anything except finding Kuromitsu. Karuta takes Kuro to a club that's really a Hanawa rebel base. There, Karuta tries to find out more information about Kuro and what he knows. Suddenly, the Red Army furiously attacks the club, and they start killing the resistance fighters. Kuro sees a Red Army soldier and recognizes the emblem, the same emblem of those who hunted him and Kuromitsu. This makes Kuro lose control, and he starts fighting the soldiers, killing most of them. During the battle, Kuro gets attacked by a Red Army commander. The commander is a special type of soldier, and he manages to hurt Kuro, even almost killing him. He blacks out once again and has a lengthy dream about Kuromitsu. He dreams of her coming for him, and the two of them fighting off assassination attempts. In Kuro's dream, they're together and are both powerful. They manage to escape, but even in his dream, they're killed by soldiers. When Kuro truly wakes up, he realizes that he's recovering in Rai's apartment. They start talking, and she decides to take Kuro to Izana. When Kuro reaches the base, he and Izana talk. Izana tells Kuro that if he joins the Hanawa rebels, they'll help him find Kuromitsu. Kuro has to help fight the Red Army with the rebels as he's their last hope. Izana also explains how important blood is to the Red Army, especially vampire blood. Elsewhere, we see a giant factory of the Red Army. The Army's General Arashiyama is creating inhumane experiments on poor people, testing various blood samples. When the people are unfit for the blood, they die. The Red Army's goal is to create a whole new generation of soldiers and humans. Kuro has another dream of his past life with Kuromitsu. He remembers the two of them living happily, in peace. They would watch the sunset and the night sky together. Kuro awakens once more. He's told to get ready. Soon, the Hanawa rebels will take him to their leader, Sanawa. The group travels with Kuro deep in their hideout, and there, Kuro has another vision of Kuromitsu, where she promises that they'll soon meet once again. Kuro also talks to the rebel leader Sanawa, who explains that the Red Army is after Kuromitsu's blood, as that's the secret ingredient to enhance their armies. Sanawa also promises to take Kuro to Kuromitsu's last resting place. Suddenly, the base is under attack as Red Army elite soldiers begin their approach. They bust down the windows and start attacking the rebels. Rai tries to warn Izana of the Red Army attacking, but he's already aware. Kuro faces off against the Red Army mutated soldiers, and using his sword and powers, he manages to kill most of them. When he's attacked by a giant Red Army soldier, Kuro cuts him in half. Elsewhere in the base, monstrous Red Army soldiers use their powers and kill and torture multiple rebels. Rai and Izana plan how to evacuate the surviving rebels, but Izana also realizes that the Red Army is after the secret Kuromitsu blood supply. Izana decides to use his gun and make his way to the sacred blood before the Red Army commander and his soldiers. When Izana reaches the blood, he decides to inject himself, thinking he'll use that power to defeat the soldiers. When the Red Army commander arrives, Izana is confident in his new power. Right before they begin fighting, Izana's body explodes because it couldn't handle the power. Kuro fights several other monsters from the army until he engages the Red Army commander in battle. They're almost evenly matched, but Kuro manages to get the upper hand, even when the commander transforms. Their battle ends up destroying most of the rebel base, but some rebels manage to survive. The surviving rebels all gather around Kuro and lament their fallen comrades. They ask their leader, Sanawa, what their next move will be. Sanawa tells the group that they need to travel to Tsuruhai, and that's where they will find Kuromitsu. She's the only one who has all the answers. That's the first part of the recap of Kurozuka anime. As usual, we'll be bringing the second part of this soon, so make sure to stay subscribed for more updates and more anime recaps like this. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like to support us. That's it for today, anime fans, and I'll see you all in the next video.